to the second installment of the Happy Medium. Wait, just kidding. Upon some further research, my idiot ass looked up the name of the podcast after already, going through all the effort that I went through. The Happy Medium podcast was a name that I had meditated on for many, many, many weeks, and I was super excited about it, but turns out that there's at least 2 other podcasts that are already doing their podcast thing. So shout out to them, Happy Medium, the skate podcast, and the Happy Medium for all your paranormal needs. Shout out to them. In light of that, I have been brainstorming a few new names. Follow me on Instagram. My Instagram will be in the description if you would like to join a poll that I will be posting pretty soon to pick out my next name. Have some few ideas. None of them feel right yet. I'm hoping something will just, jump out at me, but hasn't happened yet. But without further ado, this is an extremely exciting day because I have an incredible guest with me today. This person is probably my favorite person on the planet. She not only birthed me and raised me, but also is an incredibly powerful, insightful, wise, hilarious human being. One of the most badass, strongest people I know. This is my mom!
Hi!
Sunshine.
My favorite of the ideas for the podcast name.
Hey, wait.
What?
Okay, fine, you can share.
Chicken wing! No.
If you guys think chicken,
if
you guys think the chicken wing is a good idea, just it may or may not be included in my poll.
Oh, okay. We're not allowed to discuss it right now.
Maybe.
Okay.
Anyway, hi, welcome.
Hi.
Welcome to this weird audio space. Woo.
Ooh, it's weird.
How are you feeling today?
Everything is weird. It's very weird.
It is quite the weird time these days.
I should have lit a candle. It's not too late. Should
no,
I light a candle?
I'm gonna be right back.
You're gonna. We're gonna.
Gotta have some ambiance. Where's the lighter?
So, are we still called Happy Medium Podcast until the name is changed?
Yes.
So we could do a seance.
Oh no.
We could light a candle, and we could talk to the dead.
Where's the lighter?
It's in the bathroom, honey.
Okay. Okay.
That's a mom's job is to know where everything is.
Oh God. Yeah, we are currently Q buddies. That's what the Zoomers are calling it these days. Oh my God, you want to be my Q buddy? Quarantine buddies.
Yeah. So, but we're not going to talk about.
Yeah, no, we're not going to talk about.
Not going to talk about the worldwide pandemic.
No, we're not going to talk about that today. I want this to be a a little bit of an escape from the reality of reality.
Yes, that has such high hopes for 2020.
The candle is so nice. Here, cheers. She's sipping some coffee.
What are you drinking, honey?
I'm drinking some honey, lemon, ginger, orange tea I just made.
Oh, I saw it sitting on the counter.
Wow.
I wasn't sure. It looked very beautiful, though.
Exciting shit.
The little citrus things floating around in there.
Like a witch's brew. Maybe I should just keep being the happy medium and have little seances and.
I have to look into the occult, though. I'm not very well versed in.
Oh no. I think I'm definitely gonna have a cult episode coming up in a few months.
Is that Wiccan? Do Wiccan people, do they have seances? Do they talk to the dead? Or is that just... I don't know. I have to look into it.
I don't know
Sounds
enough about these
interesting.
things to have a comment right now. But,
I think it's pretty much fake. But, anyways. I don't believe in ghosts.
Why not?
I like the Ghostbusters movie, though. The new one with the women.
With the women.
With the women?
Why can't we just call it the new Ghostbusters?
I have a crush on Kate McKinnon.
Ooh,
And
who doesn't, though?
Leslie Jones is hilarious. Have you ever seen her stand up?
Yeah, she's brilliant. I love her.
Oh my god, she's so funny. Also, a big fan of Game of Thrones, just like me, but like she did a commentary on Twitter.
Oh yeah, I remember you listening to that.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny. She's so into Game of Thrones, and but that was just her thing. Like, if you didn't want spoilers, you couldn't follow Leslie Jones because she just loved to watch it and then commentate on it as it was playing.
Great. It's great.
She'd get real mad at some of the characters and be like cussing them out.
It felt a little bit like Snoop Dogg comment on when he voiced over the documentaries, you know? Those otters. Anyway.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
those otters.
Those otters.
It's amazing I knew what you were talking about from such a small little hint. I know you so well.
Uh-huh. Okay, so I guess first question of the evening. What are your main passions in life?
Oh, my main passions.
You have so many. If you don't get them all, I can name the rest if you need.
Well, I guess, let's see, 2 things that are very important to me. My kids.
I'm her passion in life.
I'm very passionate about my kids. And they're adults now, so what am I going to do with myself now?
A lot of things. You have your whole life ahead of you.
Let's see. I'm very passionate about caring for humans with disabilities.
Yeah, I told you she's a badass. Haha.
It really breaks my heart when I see homeless people. I worked in a domestic violence shelter for 2 years, and then I also worked at Kekamapono with juvenile delinquent girls. They were basically homeless, but so that's something that's really dear to me, is that
So your occupation is something that you're passionate about.
I also care about the environment. Like, one of my goals in my bucket list, if I own a house again, I don't currently own a house, is that I want it to be completely solar. I grew up completely off the grid. Like, my dad built a house with his bare hands with 0 power tools, if you can imagine. Like, he cut the wood with a handsaw. And I actually remember seeing it and just thinking it was normal. I was really little. I was like 4 or 5. It took him a long time to build our house, so we like basically lived in it when it was like open to the environment, like camping. We had to like bathe in a tub that we filled up with hot water by hand. We had to... Our outhouse was like a chair with a hole cut out of it and a toilet seat and a 5-gallon bucket under it.
Goals.
But then, like, eventually, it's really amazing. My dad, like, he built this composting toilet that they still use. This is 40 years ago, and that thing has not filled up. It was an entire story high. It is still there and still in use. He built it out of cement blocks, and he built like a ramp inside where the poop comes down.
A poop ramp.
And it has a wind turbine that's powered by air. So when the wind blows, it blows, and then it sucks the smell up and dehydrates
Do you
the
know
poop.
if he invented this himself, or was there a resource? Like, did he
No.
read a book about it?
No, yeah, I remember he had a book.
Oh.
So while he was building it, there was this book sitting on the work table.
That's great.
And he just did it from a book he read. And it still works. Like, that is so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And then completely off the grid, but like, he didn't spend, tons of money. He had no money, but he only would buy like a solar panel when he had money.
Mm-hmm. So a composting toilet is what started your passion for sustainability?
I just thought it was the most logical thing. And then when I grew up and saw
I'm just
how,
kidding.
when I saw
I
how
got you.
everybody else lived, I just thought, that's really weird. Like, why don't, doesn't it make
makes a lot more sense
to be
to know where your
off
poop
the
goes.
grid?
I don't know where my
Oh,
no.
There was a little drain at the bottom of the composting toilet that my dad built. And every once in a while he'd open the drain and it was a odorless liquid and he'd put it on the garden. I actually started my own garden when I was like 8 years old or so, just out of the blue, just I guess because I was bored or something. I just decided I wanted a little garden and I dug up a little rectangle of dirt. Dirt's hard to find in Hawaii. But yeah, my dad also built the water tank out of cement that we use for catchment, which is also weird, but it's like a Hawaii thing, or a Puna thing. And yeah, he built the whole house. And yeah, we had no windows for the first like 2 years. That was
amazing.
But since I was so young, I just thought it was, I don't know. I didn't think of it as a hardship. It just was like a little adventure, I think, which is weird.
Swiss Family Robinson.
The bathing thing was weird, having to fill up the tub with after boiling water. But and we had kerosene lamps. Like, I would have to, like, if I wanted to read at night, I had to have a kerosene lamp. And I don't know if anyone who's listening to this would ever know what I was talking about, but there's these old Coleman lamps that had filaments. And one time, our Coleman lamp actually exploded, and the whole thing was flaming, and my dad grabbed, I think it was like a broom handle or something. I don't know what he grabbed. He grabbed something really fast and then ran out the door with this flaming Coleman lantern. The whole thing was like a big ball of flame in the middle of the house. But nothing got burned.
Wow.
Except for the lantern. It was toast.
So do you think that if you were to design your own house, do you think it would be based off of what your dad built? Like, do you think you'd do solar and a composting toilet and stuff?
Yeah, I would definitely have a composting toilet. I think I would also, I think it's important to have 2 bathrooms in a home.
Why? I mean, I know why.
In case 2 people have diarrhea at the same time.
Ah.
Anyway, but I think I would have, and it's funny, they have that same setup. Later on, they also built a downstairs toilet that used water, but it used the catchment water, so it was still very sustainable. But yeah, I think I would have one toilet with bidet.
A catchment
that
bidet?
Used water. And then and then I would have a composting toilet. Yeah,
I love it.
Definitely. And then of course a garden again. I had when you were growing up, we had a garden for about 10 years.
A lot of weeds.
We had weeds. And
it just kind of makes sense though. Just living sustainably is just what makes sense. So I feel like that's what everybody's gonna have to eventually resort to if things collapse. Everybody, I mean, you can just live. I mean, I know it's probably harder in a city, but there's ways to have green cities.
Yeah. We also had a horse and a goat. I highly recommend a horse and a goat, actually.
Why?
For everyone. Because horse manure and goat manure is the best for your garden. Oh my God, if you want to have really good basil, etc. Like, you might try to grow basil and, use some kind of compost that you've been working on, or use like some
Nothing beats
organic
poop.
fertilizer that you got from Home Depot or something, and you're just gonna have some mediocre basil, man. But if you put some nice horse manure, you can have
Yeah.
I had it was like 5 foot tall basil, and yeah,
Wow.
serious pesto. Oh man.
So what are some of your other passions in life?
Oh, besides gardening and solar. Lately I've been doing some cross stitching.
Do you care to enlighten us on what some of your main themes are in your cross stitching art?
Oh, well, I randomly saw some on Pinterest, and what really started it is when we were in Pioneer Square in Seattle, Washington, and we went to that little vintage shop.
Oh yeah.
And there was Bob's Burgers. What is her name? Lisa? No.
No, that's the mom.
The daughter.
Oh my God.
She's like.
I love her. Why is this?
She seems like she has
Why
she's
can't
on
I
the
remember?
spectrum a
Do you
little
want to Google it?
Yeah.
What's her name?
So anyway, she loves butts, and it was like a little cross stitching of
Tina?
her.
Is it
Tina?
Tina?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tina, and it said butts, and I just thought it was hilarious, and then randomly I saw some on Pinterest that were just like, oh, don't do coke in the bathroom, and like with cute little flowers around it, or fuck you with tiny little vines twirling around it, just like, it's funny. Anyway, it made me laugh, and I thought and I hadn't done Christmas gifts. Like, I used to like to make Christmas gifts, like find something fun, like I did candles one year. And I did beeswax ornaments one year, and I
love those. They smelled so good.
I did these little scented pillows. I put like
those were fun to make
lavender, and I embroidered them, and they're made out of organic cotton. But yeah, the cross stitching is just funny. Like,
do you care to tell them what the one you made me for Christmas said?
Oh, it just says cunt, because I'm taking back the word. I don't think cunt should be a bad word.
I love it. It's one of my favorite pieces of art in my room.
Why in American society is the word cunt the worst word you can possibly say? A cunt is nice, actually. I mean, if you're healthy, you have a nice cunt. Why is that considered the worst thing to say?
I agree.
I think that's atrocious. Like, I saw a comedian on Twitter that she was making t-shirts that said Trump is a cunt. And I commented on, she's a Scottish comedian. I commented on there that, just to be funny, I just said, cunt is too good a word for Trump. And, 'cause cunts are nice. And then she got offended. She's like, oh, I forget what she said, but because I was just mesmerized by the fact that this semi-famous in Scotland comedian was responding to me. And I said, oh, no, I just wanted to be funny, but I love the t-shirts. I think it's a great idea. I just thought, cunts are nice, so that's all. And so I cross-stitched just a little rose and a pretty little bee and then the word cunt. And
It's my favorite.
that was one of Kaylani's Christmas presents. But it's meant to be funny, but also a way to take back the word.
Yes, Queen. Yes. I'm here for this. Here for all of this. So, you seem to have some pretty nice guns there. What have you been doing lately?
Oh, yeah. I've been, the last 3 months, I've been powerlifting.
What?
Yeah, Isaiah, my lovely, wonderful son, 3 months ago, I guess I was complaining about my back. It was like 3.5 months ago. Or, yeah. Let's
About
see.
there. Yeah.
November, December, January, February, March. I was just complaining in general about my overall health and my sore back and my, oh, poor me, I work 14 hours a day with no breaks and no weekends.
I think you're allowed to complain.
And,
if anybody's allowed to complain, it's you.
And he's been powerlifting for 2 years, and he's been really studying, into it. That's how he's
He's really good at what he does.
And then he took a CNA class, which I guess there was a, there was a section on there just regarding the human body and
muscles and
he studied
anatomy.
Anatomy,
Yeah.
that's the word. Anatomy class. Anyway, so he's really into it, and he's thinking of, he's an electrician, but he's actually thinking of becoming a physical therapist, which is a really good, that's an important job.
I feel like he'd be very excellent at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I would love to interview him at some point in the future. So,
I'm like really, really blessed because there's no way on earth that I could be a power lifter just on my own because I can't afford a personal trainer. I can't afford a weight set. I can't afford to go to the gym. I work 2 and 3 jobs and I can just barely pay the rent and my bills and that's about it. But so he's like, oh, you should do powerlifting. And I was like,
at first you were laughing. You were like, what?
I'm an old lady. Isn't that kind of bad for my joints or whatever? And what about my knees, And he said, well, actually, it's good for your joints. And then I looked it up because I believed him, but I just wanted to, read about it or whatever because that's what I do. I always like to read about things. But, and so I saw, oh, actually, it is good for your joints. And even if you have arthritis, there's studies scientific studies that are done that even if you are someone who's diagnosed with arthritis, which I'm not, but I just thought it was interesting, that if you do weight training, it actually is better for you. It helps you to move around better even if you have arthritis. And
it's fascinating.
Yeah. So
it's kind of the opposite of what you'd normally think, right?
Yeah, and I've been, in my life done athletic things. Like I used to bodyboard and I used to mountain bike for 25 miles a day. I used to just do a lot of hiking and running at one point.
Marathons, right?
I just did a couple of 5Ks, but I did some running. But
just a couple of 5Ks, no big deal.
But I actually, I never did a marathon, but I did it.
Yeah.
So proud of him. Last year, right?
Yeah. Wait.
Beginning of last year.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. It near St. Patrick's Day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year.
So he did an actual marathon, but that was amazing. But yeah, so running never gave me a serious mood elevating endorphin high unless I ran over 5 miles. And that is a lot.
That's a
you
lot.
know. And but I noticed with powerlifting, after the first month was kind of hard. I was kind of grouchy. But, because I get to Isaiah's house and at his little ramshackle home gym, and I get there, I'd be like, I just worked 10 hours with no breaks.
And he's like, well, looks like you're gonna do some weights now.
Anyway, but after a month, I started to feel really strong, and like at the end of the day, I'd be like loading a person and a wheelchair into my car, and I wouldn't be as tired. I would starting to feel really strong, and I guess that was part of what I love about it. But also, yeah, like when I'm doing deadlifts, like after I do like a set, I immediately feel like this high, it just feels like really, really good, and I feel really strong, and so yeah, that's like, I hope I can keep it up. It's hard, because I'm not going to Isaiah's house during the quarantine anymore, starting, how many days ago? 4 days ago?
I don't talk, yeah.
You don't want to talk about it?
Yeah.
You don't want to talk about it. But,
no, we're gonna keep it up.
Keep it upbeat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still
keep up powerlifting.
I'm still keeping it up, and we're.
So when you were at Isaiah's place last, what was your highest lift?
Oh, I did a 135-pound deadlift. I was so
yes,
proud of
queen.
myself. So proud of myself, but I'm not up to body weight, and that's like nothing compared to like serious powerlifters.
I mean, okay, come on.
I'm just starting out.
That's a lot for me. That sounds like a lot to me. I don't know about who's listening, but that's a lot for me. That's amazing. Yeah. This lady is actually, she's being very humble, but she has so many passions, and she's so incredibly talented. She's like the best baker. She's an incredible photographer. She's traveled so many places. She's like the best fashion sense. She's an artist. She's incredible at music. Oh, do you want to talk about your drumming?
Oh.
Or would you rather talk about something else?
Oh, yeah, I just, let's see, maybe like 20 years ago, started collecting musical instruments. Back when I had a house, and at one point I had 5, 6 drums.
What's your drum of choice?
Djembe. So, yeah,
Can you explain what a djembe is? Because I know a few people who might not know what that is.
It is a West African drum.
Kind of looks like a bongo, right? It's
like
a curvy bongo.
Yeah.
Like if a bongo was thick with 2 C's.
If you look it up, on YouTube, you're gonna you're gonna see men playing and women dancing. But traditionally, in Senegal, it was a instrument for women. The women played and the men danced around. So I thought that was kind of cool when I learned that. But also, the reason I picked it up is because about 14 years ago, I was helping a new church plant. It was an offshoot of Hilo Missionary Church, starting in Pahoa, and I was asked to be on the worship team, which they called the band, because they were so hip, and cool. And the band leader, she asked me if I could do percussion, and I'm like, well, I think I could. If you play piano and you use a metronome, I was trained in piano, and I could do some rhythm piano, and I could.
You're incredible at the guitar too.
Play a little bit of guitar. But yeah, so but I love drums. I just never had a drum set, and I never had a drum,
Because drums are satanic, right?
Yeah, I was actually raised super conservative, right-wing Christian home from the age of 9. My parents became born again, but born again Christians, Protestant style. But then I was sent to a Baptist school that was even more conservative, I guess is the polite way to say it.
No, don't be polite. I need to be polite
The
here.
polite way to say it is super conservative. Yeah, so they said that. So when I was in high school, I got sent away to a boarding school in South Carolina.
What was it called?
Bob Jones Academy and Bob Jones University. I went 2 years at the university and 2 years at the academy. Graduated there. It was like a boarding school. Anyway, they actually said, and they believed that these people, they're conservative Baptist. They believe that a drum beat is actually satanic. So
is dancing satanic too?
Dancing is satanic. It's too sexual, provocative. So like so in my dorm room, I couldn't have any rock and roll music. It could only be like instrumental if it was like from an orchestra.
So how long did it take you to be able to have... I mean, I think it's interesting that when you started playing drums, you were still in a church setting.
Yeah. So, but this is like a super cool modern church. That was, all the people were like hippies and like, but also at the same time very Christian. They were very like into Bible studies and stuff. They were serious, but a little bit more lax on like they drank alcohol. Some of them.
So it was very different
Bible
from Bob
studies?
Jones.
Yeah.
Anyway, so...
but anyway, so
as
the
far as-
band leader said, "Oh, can you play the djembe?" Because she knew I had one, but I hadn't ever like picked it up and started playing it. I just kept it because, oh yeah, someday in the future I'm gonna learn this. And she's like, "Here's a CD." She gave us back when people played CDs.
Oh my gosh.
Here's a CD, how to play the djembe. So I played that, and that's how I started playing djembe in church, and I did that for 4 years.
But then how did that branch out for you? You played with a lot of bands.
Yeah, so then I played with Kyla Mauna Kea.
Shout out.
Yay! And then
What's her band's name? Let's do a shout out.
Oh, is it Wolf?
Dream Wolf?
Dream Wolf. Oh
Yeah.
my god, she's in an amazing band in Portland. It's like psychedelic punk rock. It's so cool. She's so cool. And they just now pressed their first vinyl. They went on
That's
a
a
tour.
dream, honestly.
I know, right? So I played with her when she was in Hawaii, and her style was Hawaiian punk, folk. So
Super rad.
that was fun. And then I also played for Tiana Malone Jennings for about a year. I went to all of her gigs. And
Shout out
that
to
was fun.
Tiana.
Yay!
Woo. Another badass, powerful female musician.
Yeah, so that was super fun. And then most recently, for about a year and a half, I got to teach this super cool teenage boy. He's a son of one of my coworkers, and he really loved it. I was kind of unsure about myself teaching djembes, and I told his mom, because she actually asked me if I would. I never said, "Oh, I'm a djembe teacher." I just told her, "No, I'm totally self-taught. I'm not even playing djembe in the traditional West African style. I just I do my own thing." And she's like, no, it's okay, because her son just loves music and just loved and just needed some extracurricular, activity or a music class, and he needed a little extra attention, and so I was like, yeah, I would love to. It was like so fun, and then we actually got to play for with a kachi kachi band at a birthday party, and that was hilarious and fun. And then we got to play at his little niece's first birthday. So yeah.
Did you also play with Queen Sparrow?
That was when I was playing with Tiana Malone Jennings. We opened for Queen Sparrow.
Oh, okay.
Because she was the main event, because she's so badass. But yeah.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing about your whole djembe passion.
Oh, thanks.
That's really awesome. What is one of your greatest joys in your life?
My kids.
I asked that so that she would say that. Just kidding.
Because you guys are amazing.
Hair flip. Just kidding.
You're so creative, and I just love your way with words.
I paid her to say that.
And your poetry and your songwriting.
Oh my gosh.
Your painting is so beautiful. Oh
Thanks.
my gosh. And
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, next subject. All right. I guess like on the opposite of that question, what is one of the, you can either say one of the greatest things or one of the hardest things that you've ever overcome. And
greatest things. Oh, before I say that though, like you guys, my greatest joy about you guys was just like everything. Like I loved like when you were babies, I just dug everything you guys did. You were like the cutest babies, and then you got older. But yeah, like my greatest joy is that you guys are really good humans, like really caring and compassionate.
yeah,
And
try.
so what was the other question? Sorry.
Aw, I feel very loved. Thank you, Mom. But I was raised by a good human, so kind of makes sense. What is one of the hardest things you've ever had to overcome? But you don't have to share anything that you're not comfortable with. And if you want to keep it super upbeat, definitely can.
Oh. Well,
you could say one of the greatest things you've overcome, like one of your greatest accomplishments.
That's a hard thing to answer.
It's okay.
Because not to be redundant, but like, raising a boy and a girl and them both growing up to be adults and being really decent humans, it's like, I know that's a lot of that is just you guys just being good humans, but like I feel like I had a little part in it, and I feel like after like everything that we had to go through, that you guys are just really decent, creative humans that really care about other people and animals and nature. And just the other day, Isaiah's standing there, like he's coaching me with the powerlifting, just so patient, and I keep telling him thank you. He's like, oh no, I like doing it, it's no problem, and then he's standing there, and I look over, and he's holding a hen. There's like all these chickens in the backyard, and he's just holding the chicken and talking to her, and I'm just like, it just makes me feel so happy that I have a son that will talk to a chicken and
he's a good
be
kid.
Kind and gentle, and same with you. You've always been that way. It's so funny, like you always had such a heart for animals, like starting from so young. Like, yeah, like if I took you to the zoo.
Oh no.
I took you to the zoo one time.
Embarrassing story time.
But like, you just loved all of the animals so much. You just staring at them, just like so like aware of these creatures, and not, you know, not just in your own world, but like so aware of each animal. And then when we had to leave, like the hippo and go to see the ostrich, you'd start crying because oh, the hippo. Bye, hippo.
I still feel that way. I can't go to zoos. I'm just kidding. No, I really can't go to zoos actually anymore. Oh man, when I was traveling in China, a bunch of the people from the group that I was with, they all wanted to go to the zoo in China. I refused to go. I was like, no, I will not see a panda bear that is in a cage. Like, I refuse.
Oh yeah, and you won't watch animal movies.
Well, okay, here's the thing. They're always excessively sad.
Yeah.
Why is that?
You're right.
Why does every animal movie have to be the most sad thing that I have? It's just like, I'm always just bawling at the end. I'm like, Jesus Christ, why is this? Why do they do that? Why can't they just have a happy animal movie? Why does it not exist?
Yeah.
Oh, you should really watch this movie where the red fern grows. It's gonna be great. It's about doggies. And then I'm just like childhood trauma, just like crying. Like, don't watch that movie. 10 out of 10 do not recommend.
Oh man. Yeah, you are right about animal movies.
Yeah, that's why I can't watch it.
I always cry too.
They're just excessively sad for no good reason.
But it's also because animals are so adorable.
Man, oh, you should tell us more about your horse.
Oh yeah, I had a horse and a goat.
It's pretty unique.
The horse was, he was an old polo pony from Waimea, and you know what? I don't even know if they still have polo games in Waimea. But they used to when I was a kid. Excuse me.
What?
Spit in my mouth.
Oh, good.
Take a drink of coffee.
Take a good little sip.
I'm drinking really strong, organic, dark roast coffee with, it has organic, ultra-filtered milk.
Oh my God. Ultra filtered.
Honey and protein powder. Woo-hoo.
Gosh, this one puts protein powder in her coffee. Talk about a power lifter.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
Your horse. What was your horse's name?
Oh, his name was Cherry Bomb. That was on his papers. He was a purebred quarter horse. But he was 25 years old when I got him.
What is the average horse lifespan?
Like 30.
Yeah, so he's an old fart.
Old fart. He had gray hairs and he had knobby knees with arthritis.
Oh, poor boy.
Yeah, but he was he won lots of medals. He was an award-winning polo pony. He won all the polo matches. But then he got retired, and my dad thought, oh, yeah, that would be great. Manure for the garden, and I'll get her a really old horse so it'll be safer that way. And so, yeah, I think he cost like $400 or something.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So, yeah, he was just a sweet, sweet horse. Like, when I was learning how to ride, if I started to fall off, he would just slow down and stop and start munching grass as I slid down the side of his leg. And I could like walk underneath him.
Oh wow, gentle baby.
Yeah, and I used to make we had comfrey in our garden, and I used to make poultices for his little knees.
His little knobby knees.
arthritis needs a node.
You should have told him to be a powerlifter.
Yeah. Well, that's why
It'll help your arthritis, Cherry Bomb, I promise. Here, take these dumbbells.
Yeah. Well, I didn't like ride him to running, but we would go for walks every day to keep his arthritis from being too bad. Yeah.
You should have told him to be a powerlifter.
Yeah, I wanted to get a cart and hook him up to a cart. Have a little chariot. I thought that would be so fun, but that didn't happen. But yeah, he was a very gentle old fart.
Speaking of walking, and traveling, where have you traveled in your life?
Oh, I have traveled to Japan, to Tokyo, Japan, and the surrounding countryside, and I love Japan. Super yummy food. I need to work on my, I've got too much spit. Luckily, I don't have a microphone really close to my mouth because that would be gross.
I'm planning on doing that in the future, so watch out. Better get your spit in check, Mom.
Yeah, but I think you're supposed to put like there's a word for it, with a little shield.
Yeah, no, I have one of those.
Oh, you have that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We're about to get high tech up in the future, peeps.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so let's see, Japan. We traveled to Cyprus, which is amazing, in the middle of the Mediterranean. It's like, close to many different countries because it's right in the center of
little island in the Mediterranean Sea.
Burping.
You're allowed to burp.
Half of Cyprus is owned by Turkey, and the other half is Cypriot, but it's Greek Cypriot, but their government is self-contained. They're not part of, at the time, they're not part of Greece, and they were not part of the EU, but actually when we went, they were actually planning on joining the EU, and that was a big...
Interesting.
Yeah, really yummy food there.
Oh my god, I still dream about the food.
Yeah.
Where else have you been? Japan, Cyprus.
I've been to quite a few states in the U.S. We lived in Wisconsin. And we and then I went to school in South Carolina.
To be fair, I didn't live in Wisconsin.
You don't count it because you're too young.
It was before I was 1 year old.
We left when you were 9 months.
9 months old.
9
months old.
Months. Anyway, and then so South Carolina, I've been to New Orleans, and I've been to California quite a few times. I've been to San Francisco, LA, Oxnard.
What the heck is Oxnard?
You went with me. We went to go visit Aunt Diane.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And then you guys went. Then we went to Disneyland.
Yeah, didn't somebody give us free passes?
Yeah, my cousin Angie.
Oh,
yeah.
That was so sweet of her.
Yeah. So let's see. Been to New York City. And
what about?
Been to London.
Aha.
And Paris. And Bergen, Norway.
So fancy.
Yes, it was not fancy though. Just didn't have very much money, but decided to do it anyway because I thought travel that is a passion of mine, a joy, because I just think that experiences are better than material things, but sometimes I question my choices in life and I think, well, if only I had this thing, right?
Yeah.
But I have such good memories from traveling that I really think it's worth it. And me and my boyfriend Miles, we went to London first. We stayed there a week. but we were like really conserving our money. It wasn't like a fancy trip, but we still had such a blast. It was so fun. I mean, we walked everywhere because we couldn't really even afford to go in the underground. But underground transport is actually quite reasonable. Yeah, and not too dirty. I never did take the subway when I was in New York, but I've heard it's really gross.
Huh.
But yeah, the London Underground's pretty chill. And then, when we got to Paris, we're like even more like, oh, we really gotta conserve our money, because we stayed a week in Paris, and then we're gonna stay a week in Bergen, Norway. So we're in Paris, but even though we were like really like trying to save money, going, getting groceries, walking everywhere, we still had so much fun. I think traveling with somebody who I was traveling with Miles, and we both just love literature and poetry and architecture and museums, and not everybody likes those things.
Yeah, and he's a feminist, right?
He's a feminist, yeah. But not the kind that is like, oh, hey, baby, I'm a feminist. He's the kind
those people aren't feminists.
I didn't know he was a feminist until...
Here's the thing. If you meet somebody and they have to tell you that they're a feminist before they say something sleazy, they're not a feminist.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Yeah, so, like, we went... we both love Shakespeare. We went to see Macbeth at the Globe Theater, which is the theater that Shakespeare was at.
Wait, wasn't that a random occurrence though? What?
Okay, so at the last minute, like a week before we went on our trip, I looked up the Globe Theater because I thought, wouldn't that be epic if while we were in London, we actually saw a Shakespeare play at Shakespeare's actual theater. Well, his actual theater burnt down and they rebuilt it in this other place. But anyway, it's still the Globe Theater. So I looked it up, and randomly, it's Macbeth, and there's 2 seats left.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Time frame of the week that we're going to be there. And I'm like, okay, I'm buying them. But then they were actually quite cheap because they were way in the back, and I was like, it's okay. We'll still enjoy it because just being there, and being
you have
together.
Good company to share it with.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh yeah, that'll be cool. And so then it ends up being while we were, because usually London is pretty cold and rainy, etc. They were having a heat wave, and so we get there. And the expensive seats, because it's actually open to the sky.
Oh, wow.
And it was a matinee, so it was like 1 o'clock, okay?
Okay.
So we get in there, and all the really expensive ass seating is like in the blazing sun.
Wow.
And they're all like fanning themselves, and you could see them visibly sweating. And we're like in the back where there's like
just
a little
chilling
breeze coming through. And we could see the stage perfectly, and it was amazing. It was pretty cool. We walked along the bank of the Thames that day. We walked like around Parliament, and we didn't like take any tours because we couldn't afford it, but we just like randomly saw all these cool things, and I'd like do like a Google search. Oh, what is that building? Oh, that's Parliament. Okay. And then we come around the bend, and there's the Big Ben, that famous clock. And I'm like, oh my God, So we like, oh, we're so thirsty. Let's have a beer. So we stop at this random pub, and it just so happens to be a pub that like every prime minister since like even Margaret Thatcher has had beer there.
Wow.
I'm just sitting there, I'm like, Margaret Thatcher sat here, Winston Churchill had a beer at this bar. It was so cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Thank you for sharing all your beautiful stories with me.
Yeah, I love traveling.
Hey, guess what?
What?
I love you, and
I
I'm
love you too.
so ecstatic that you are my first guest. What?
Thanks for having me as your first guest. I feel very honored.
I feel honored. My favorite person.
Oh, you're my favorite person. And Isaiah.
No, I see. You hear that? There's audio proof. I'm the favorite child. I'm just kidding.
Isaiah.
Just kidding.
You're both equally my favorites.
Just kidding. Do you have any final last remarks before we close up today? Like a message for the world. Like if you had like a little microphone put in front of your face right now that was like broadcasted on every TV and radio in the whole world, what would you say?
Never give up.
Wow. I feel inspired. Inspired as heck.
Well, yeah, you know, I mean, I say that, but I've struggled with depression my whole life.
Yeah.
But I just
Never give up, darling.
getting out of bed.
Yeah, that's...
And then there's occasionally light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak.
Oh.
And there's always... It's so... this world is very strange. It's full of...
really is.
Dichotomies. It's full of ironies. It's full of... But yeah, that's what life is about. There's stuff that happens that's so bad, and then you just turn the corner, and then...
Bam, there's
something amazing.
Beautiful, yeah. Yeah, no,
Like,
life really trips me out, especially lately. It's like... Yeah, no, I don't know. I have a whole... I could probably speak for an hour of the existential thoughts that have been going through my head, but maybe we'll save that for another time.
Well, yeah, like, it's funny. This month is just full of the weirdest ironies. Like, on the 6th, I remember it's the 6th because I wrote a journal entry for the first time in a long time.
Journaling is so important.
The 6th of March, it was a Friday. I just happened to notice that I had such an amazing day, and it wasn't because I was doing something epic or or had an amazing vacation day. It was a work day, but I don't know, all of the participants at work. I work at a adult day health program for adults with disabilities, and they just, well, every day I walk in and they're like, "Hi, sunshine." Everybody greets me and hugs me, and but I don't know, on that Friday, the 6th of March, I just felt like it was my birthday or something. Like, everybody was, I mean, down to, the entire building started singing "You Are My Sunshine" to me.
So it was
like
this really strange day.
Yeah,
of,
the
like,
whole day was so
feeling
good.
super celebrated.
Yeah. And I got to see you. Like, some days I don't even get to see you.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when I work 2 or 3 jobs. And that day, I was able to bring my other client from my other job, my Biata job, to the cafe where you work.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all on that same day. I got to see you, and then you gave me a big hug, and then Ash was there. She gave me a big hug, and she's so cheerful. And I had like super yummy food, and I don't know. It's like.
So what's the dichotomy that you're feeling? Were you just feeling like that was an omen for how the rest of the year was gonna go?
I'm used to battling with depression, so when things go really well, I kind of question it, but
The skepticism.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But anyway,
I got you.
and then it's quite a contrast to how things are going recently, but anyway, starting a podcast is a good idea.
Yeah, I feel like this is keeping me sane right now. Barely.
Dinosaur butts.
Dinosaur butts or chicken wing. Make sure to vote in the poll. Next episode.
I like vulture breath.
Oh my god. Actually, I really like that one, but everybody I've talked to seems to hate it. Anyway, yeah. Just, do you have any last words?
I love you.
Parting messages for you peoples?
Oh, for peoples. I love you a lot.
Hey, yeah. Hey, guess what, guys? We all, me and Sunshine, we love you so dearly. We're so grateful for you tuning in. And if you've made it this far, yeah, I'm so honored and grateful to have your time. And, yeah, next week there'll be a super, super special guest. Yeah, I cannot heckin' wait.
Super surprise special guest?
Yes, it's a surprise to me, too. Yeah. Don't tell anybody I said that. The people can't know that I'm not a professional.
And you will have a new podcast name by then?
Oh, we hope so.
Oh, not nude, though. Not a nude?
Ooh.
Podcast name?
Nude podcast name. I'm ready for that. I think I'm going to come up with a nude podcast name.
The Naked Truth.
Hey, The Naked Truth with Kaylani B.
New. I meant to say new.
No, I'm going to have nude. A nude. It's going to be a nudity podcast about nudity. The world needs more of that right now, right? I think everybody should just become a nudist. Alrighty, I send you hugs through the...
But as safely as possible.
Safe nudity, guys. Practice safe nudity. Anyway, I send you a hug through whatever screen device you're listening upon. And I hope you feel my love, and I send you many blessings in your life. Amen. A woman. I don't know how to end this yet. Thanks for bearing with me. Yay! All right. Toodles. You want to say goodbye?
Bye!
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. L'chaim to life.